Good day, everyone. In this video that I'm covering today, I'm covering an article in Business Tech. The headline of this article will probably send shivers down many people's spines. The areas, services, and businesses that could require mandatory vaccines in South Africa. When I go through these areas, I think the chills will start to really spread. And this is not laid down in stone. This is where the mindset of many people are right now. These people believe that you have to put protection of life over freedom at all cost. And this is captured in our constitution. And a lot of people don't understand that this is why the government has the right to overrule any law currently in the country because the constitution is above the law. Overrule any act in the country because above all else is the government's right to protect your life, not your right to protect your life, not your freedom to make decisions. And this is why we need to change the governance system. But let's get into the article so that you can understand where these people that don't believe in freedom first, why it's a huge problem for people that believe in freedom, and why I believe that liberty, the freedom to make choices, should always come before protection of life, and why we have to change the constitution to make that a reality. Following the emergence of the new Omicron variant and the pending fourth wave, they say Business for South Africa, B4SA, is calling for a rapid move to restrict access to public indoor areas that are not required for emergency use. Okay, they say that are not required for emergency use. But you'll be interesting when you see the list of things they mention here and what they consider not to be an emergency. B4SA and a group of 22 scientists and experts said that certain public spaces should be subject to vaccine mandates or only be open to people who are vaccinated. This includes hospitals. So they don't consider hospitals to be there for emergency. Grocery stores, certain government services, large-scale events, travel in buses, taxis, and aeroplanes, indoor establishments such as restaurants and taverns, and places of worship. That is basically everything that most average South Africans, middle-class South Africans, use in their day-to-day life. The group said that these measures are necessary to save lives and avoid severe lockdown restrictions over the upcoming holiday period. And what a lot of people don't understand is that the entire premise that saving of lives is above your freedom will take everything away from you, because as long as you can create an opportunity to say that someone's life is under threat, you'll be able to remove every freedom they have. And this is why it's very important for freedom, liberty to come before protection of life. Let me continue. B4SA is also calling on all employees to ensure safe working environments for their employees and customers, which in many instances should include restricting access to vaccinated individuals and implementing vaccine mandates wherever possible. I think they meant unvaccinated. This is per the responsibilities outlined in the Department of Labour's OH&S directive issued in July. It shows you that this is their interpretation of what was issued in July. Many people have other interpretations. The group is also calling for lower limits on indoor and outdoor gatherings to be reintroduced. And I quote, "The global scientific community is in the process of determining the transmissibility of the new variant, and scientists' initial view is that our current vaccines remain highly effective against death and severe illness," said Kingston. The interesting thing is here, there's no evidence for what he has just said. However, this is their position, their opinion, their idea, with no evidence, and I find this interesting. In other words, what scientists say goes, that no one else should have the freedom to challenge what they say or think. In short, vaccinations remain our best weapon against COVID-19, he said. And I quote, "The country has sufficient vaccines available, and it is imperative that as many people as possible get vaccinated as soon as possible so as to not overburden the health system and to minimize lockdown restrictions." And I quote, "South Africa cannot afford more personal or economic pain. We have a responsibility to protect ourselves and our communities and to safeguard both lives and livelihoods. Understand what this means. So for any threat to life, they consider in future, which could include climate change and many other things, your freedoms can be removed indefinitely. You could be put in a society and a system that you don't agree with indefinitely. You have to understand the script that is aligned with what these people believe and what they are doing. And every person that voted DA in the last elections absolutely support this mindset without them even knowing it. And you will see this in the coming days. Scientists, a group of epidemiologists, vaccine experts, and other scientists have also published a list of recommendations around mandatory vaccinations in South Africa. In a column on the Daily Maverick, the group said that while a surge in COVID 19 cases is likely over the December holiday period, it was possible to navigate the coming weeks through a series of intelligent interventions rather than a total lockdown. And then they have some key proposals: no more restrictions except on indoor gatherings. Okay? But what they are saying is that they want many things open up. However, you are going to be forced to be vaccinated. No more travel bans. Prepare health facilities, booster shots. They said get an urgent second vaccine to all healthcare workers and others who were given a single J&J jab. And then mandatory vaccines. Enforce vaccine passports for entry into public spaces, including places of worship, taxis, and restaurants. Understand what this means, people. So enforce vaccine passports for entry into public spaces, including places of worship, taxis, and restaurants. So if you want to go to any place of worship, they want you to have a vaccine passport. Aggressively improve access to vaccination. Make getting a vaccine very easy by using pop-ups in areas such as taxi ranks, malls, grants, queues, and drive-thrus. Then, the task team. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that South Africa will look at mandatory vaccinations for specific activities to boost vaccination rates. In a national address on Sunday evening, 28th of November, and I spoke about that already, Ramaphosa said the government has set up a task team to undertake broad consultations on making vaccinations mandatory for specific activities and locations. The task team will report to the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Vaccination, chaired by the Deputy President, which will make recommendations to Cabinet on a fair and sustainable approach to vaccine mandates. Now, there's no such a thing. Ramaphosa said that introducing such measures is a complex and challenging issue, but is necessary to combat the spread of the virus. That is his bosses speaking. If we do not address this seriously and as a matter of urgency, we will continue to be vulnerable to new variants and will continue to suffer new waves of infection. Now, I just want to go back to the places that they say need these restrictions. In other words, you need to show your vaccine passport, which many people said was fake news when I mentioned it in the past. And these are the places that should be restricted if you are not vaccinated: hospitals, grocery stores, certain government services, large-scale events, traveling buses, taxis, and aeroplanes, indoor establishments such as restaurants and taverns, and places of worship. These people are consulting with government right now, P4SA, and these scientists and what they call experts, to tell them that this is what needs to be implemented. Fully start to comprehend what I'm saying. Those of you that thought that this was impossible, here it is now. Those that think that we can challenge this in court, go ahead. Please go ahead with those challenges and see where it ends up. Prove the system. It's important that people at least see that we actually don't have a way out but to change the system. There is no other way out. And it's important that these court cases are proven in the High Court and further all the way to the Concord, so that you can see that what I have already said is absolutely the truth and a fact, and that this was planned a very long time ago. That our Constitution will always choose the protection of life over your freedom to make choices, and that this was done so that government could have absolute power over your life when a threat in their mind exists. If you don't think it's a threat, all they have to do is they must think that it's a threat, and they can do to you what they want with regards to your freedoms. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please join this channel if you can, so that you can watch the live chat that we will have Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. It'll be a very important communication with the channel members, which is now climbed to almost 900. We were on 888 yesterday. And I want to thank everyone that's joined this channel membership and this community, where we are growing a group of people that think differently and that are critical thinkers, because this mainstream thing that's happening now is extremely dangerous to your future freedoms. Thank you very much. Till the next video.